Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Chris's Awareness Knits, where I talk about what I am working on currently, and I start, discussing certain things as well. Um, but we're going to start with my finished objects. Now, I only have one because I haven't been feeling very well. I injured myself. This bruise is almost gone, but I haven't really been able to, you know, um, crochet or knit because of it. So all I've really finished is a pillow cover. I haven't weaved in my hands. But yeah, so it just covers up the pillow, and I'm going to put buttons so that I can use a different pillow inside if I want. So yeah, I just made it to fit the pillow that goes on the couch because sometimes I sleep out here in this room because that's where the heater is. And the winters in Japan get really cold because they don't insulate their houses in the same way people in the northeast of the United States, where I'm from, insulate their houses. And so there's a lot of heat loss, and there's no central heating. So there's only heating in the rooms you put the heater. And last year, I used the electric heater, and it ended up costing me like $300 a month. So I bought a gas heater, and I hooked it up to the gas main. So that means that I can only sleep in my great room, which is where the kitchen is located and the gas main is located. So I'm sleeping in my great room instead of my bedroom. So I've been sleeping on the couch. And this material is not the softest material. So I've covered the pillow in this really, it's so squishy, this really squishy material so that it would be a little bit more enjoyable to sleep here in this room that's actually warm. I also have my electric blanket with me, but it tends to turn off after about 5 minutes, which I don't know why. I've kind of been contemplating buying another one, but I'm also contemplating moving out of Japan in the next 16 months. So, do I want to spend that $40-50 on buying another one, or just sleep in the great room until it's warm again? I haven't decided exactly. But I have been working. Let's cycle back out of my Japan life and cycle back into my projects. So I'm still working on the Project Linus blanket. I have not forgotten it. It is still growing. It is growing so slowly. So slowly. But it is growing. I only have this much left. And I feel like I can probably get another like 3 to 4 inches out of it. But I feel like that's not going to be enough. So I've been looking through my stuff. And I did find this like green and white mix. And I think if I mix it with a dark green, like a forest green, like a really thin forest green, it'll end up working with this, and it'll just be a two-tone blanket. Because I have 3 balls of this, which I'm not sure exactly what it is, because when I purchased it, I usually purchase people's stashes, and it arrived in a garbage bag. Just like that one, actually. I think it's from the same person, with just like balls, and there's no bands or anything to learn about what it is. There's just like different sized balls. So I'm just gonna. This is basically the same amount that I used in the original blanket. So it'll double the size, which I think will make it almost the size of a single bed, which, at least a kid's bed, which I think is a good amount. So what else am I working on? So I've got my Project Linus blanket. I've got my next addition to the Project Linus blanket in colors. I've got a forest green that's quite thin, that's just going to wrap around it. Maybe a thin brown as well, to sort of make the colors work. So I have that. Then I have been going to all the coffee shops in Hiroshima because I've been off work for 2 weeks and I can't just sit at my house all day crocheting and knitting or I'll go crazy. And so I've been going to all the coffee shops. If you're on my Instagram, you've seen this project because I've taken a picture of it at every single coffee shop that I've been to. So this is just a sweater that I've worked up in double crochet. The lines are just not working in the front loop because double crochet creates like 3 loops, and so in the rest of it I'm working through all 3 loops to make a thicker fabric because I'm cold, y'all. I'm so cold. I'm so cold, y'all. So I've mostly finished one sleeve of it, and I finished the body, and I'm currently working on the belly band because I had to take a break from sleeves for a little while. So I'm currently working on the belly band. It's at cuff size right now, so quite a bit to get around all this belly and all this booty because I like my sweaters quite long, and this whole crop top fashion thing is not for me. Nope. I'm cold. Cover me. My sweaters need to cover me. Now, I really, really, really like this fabric because I don't know if you can tell, but it's like just a gray with like a little bit of a sparkle in it. You can see it reflecting in the light a little bit there. And I think it's going to be great because it's just that little pop of something on a neutral. So I think this is just going to be like a throw it on and go sweater. Like I won't have to worry too much about fashion or trying to get it like to fit with my other, like a jacket or a hat or whatever. I think it's just going to be a throw on and go because it's just a basic gray with just a little bit of sparkly. So I've been working on that for like the last 2 weeks. This I did in like 3 days. So we are at the part of the video where I talk a little bit about, oh, and I've made like, I don't know how many hair ties. I have a little bit of yarn left. I make a hair tie. I bought like 100 basic black hair tie bands and they're all gone. So I have over 100 hair ties. Like, I don't even know which ones I've made recently and which ones I made before and what's going on. I just don't know. So it's time to show you a few of the yarns that you can get in Japan. And they're all going to be from the same seller. They're all from the place that gave me this stuff. And so they all came in garbage bags in balls. So I don't know exactly what they are. But they all seem to be wool. So this pink did come with a band. So it says it is 68% hair, 70 of which is mohair, 30% acrylic, and 2% nylon. And it is... Actually, I think it's really soft and it's really nice. And I've got balls upon balls upon balls of this stuff. So I think I have enough to make a vest. I don't think I have enough to make a full sweater. Unless I do banding with a different color. So I have this. I didn't tell you what its name is. This is the only one with a belly band. With a band on it. It's King Mohair Charolais. I don't know. The money thing is covering the middle of the thing. Bingu Mohair Ball. Yeah. It's 40 grams per ball. It's mohair, so it ends up being quite thick because of the halo it has. So it recommends a hook size of... Oh, it doesn't recommend a hook size. It only tells you you need... Oh, it's a hook size 10. Body 10. But it's a Japanese size 10, which is not exactly connected to American sizes or how many millimeters something is. So I'd have to figure out what a Japanese size 10 is. Because it's not a 10 millimeter. Although I guess you could use a 10 millimeter with this. It's because of the halo. I probably will end up using a 6, maybe a 7. Definitely not using a 10. Which is probably why I will end up with only a vest, and other people might end up with a sweater. But there you go. So we've got this pink bag, trash bag, worth of yarn. I got this white trash bag. Oh, another one with a band. Okay, so we got a band. All right, this is called Sylvine. It takes a size 13 to 15 knitting needle and an 8 to 10 crochet hook. It is a 50-gram ball of wool. It's this lovely, like off-white color, like almost a yellow. And I have this one. This one about almost the size of my head. And another one. This one is actually, this one is a ball. And this one is a cake. I don't know. But they all came together. They're all the same color, even though they don't appear to be in this lighting. And they are all Sylvine. So that's exciting. I don't know what I would make with this. I might put it with a few other colors, sort of like mixing in some of the thinner yarns to make some like really beautiful kind of marled effect, since it's such a light neutral color. And then the last thing that I got from this seller, they gave me this really thin sparkly purple and quite a thin base color as well. This stuff does not feel nice at all. And it's like old and falling apart. So I don't know how much of this is salvageable. So they mixed these two. To create this color. But obviously something has happened because there's some staining and it smells like cat piss. Yeah, it smells like cat pee. So I'm gonna have to wash whatever that is. And I'm gonna have to actually do a lot of work to make this stuff usable. Because I think it's probably pee. It's pretty stinky. But I have quite a lot of it. Yay! So I'll be using my Swift to put it into Hanks so that I can wash it properly. And see, here's the thing about getting used yarn is that you have to wash it. Now, I usually prefer to wash it after it's a finished garment because that's just how I prefer to do things. But this stuff, nope. I'm going to hang it up and wash it immediately because it is in rough shape. But I really do like the colors. I'm gonna have to. That bag has been closed since I got it, so the cat pee smell is just coming out. I don't want to throw it away because I hate waste, as you can tell by the fact that I have so much. And I'm using all my waste yarn to make hair ties and all kinds of things and pom-poms and whatever I can make out of whatever's left of whatever I've been working on. But yeah, so I guess that's my new project, is to wash that yarn. See if I can get out the cat pee smell. See if I can cake up the rest of it into both purple and white. See if I can make something nice out of it, for all that it's not in good shape right now. And that's one of the downfalls of buying used. Some of it is not in good shape. I mean, the rest of them, they don't have any smell. There's no problem with them. There's no discoloration. But this one, I think a cat peed on directly. I think it got marked. So I'm going to have to get over the grossness and deal with it. Now, January. What awareness month is January? A quick Google search will tell us the answer to that. So let's find Google on my iPad. Where are you? There we go. Okay, Google. Awareness month. January. Go! There are several awareness months celebrated in January. It's National Blood Donor Month, Cervical Health Awareness Month, Mental Wellness Month, and Poverty Awareness Month, and Veganuary. So, okay, so let's go through them. National Blood Donor Month. Super important to donate blood. Blood only stays good for a certain amount of time. Your blood is, that's what ended up helping so many people during the current world crisis, is that people who had recovered donated their blood so that people who weren't recovering could have their antibodies. Donating blood is a great way to help keep people alive, other people. You know, so it's a great way to think about people other than yourself. Next one. Cervical Health Awareness Month. You need to get checked. Go get your pap smear. Do it once a year. Do it twice a year as needed, depending on your history and if you have HPV. Make sure you get checked for HPV, as it is the leading cause of cervical cancer. If you are young enough or you don't yet have HPV, then I would get the shot, to help you. Mental Health Awareness Month. We've been talking about mental health for like the last 3 months. But those have been focused on minority mental health and men's mental health. It's just mental health in general. Mental health in general is really important. My family has struggled with bipolar disorder. We've struggled with ADHD. And some of us have struggled with, female mental health issues, female hormonal issues that lead to mental health issues. There we go. That's a nice way to put that. And I think it's important that we should be aware that other people are struggling. We're not struggling alone. Everybody is struggling. I can't believe I just touched my face a bunch of times after I touched that cat pee. It might not be cat pee. Anyway, back to what I was talking about. Poverty Awareness Month, I talked about in my last video with homelessness and being aware that we can help other people with, if you are making things for the homeless. Black is your baby. Blacks, dark greens, they do not want attention drawn to them. Dark grays, blacks, no bright colors. Because if a homeless person has a beautiful something, it may be taken away from them. And it could cause them to actually be attacked. And that is not what we're going for when we're making things to help the homeless. Right? So here we go. Make things that are in very neutral, dark colors if you're going to make something for the homeless. Because otherwise it may be taken from them. And that is unacceptable. In Hiroshima, we have a famous homeless guy. Because he has a mental health issue, he refuses to be taken care of. Japan is great about taking care of their population, even those who are suffering from mental issues. It's very easy to go on disability and get government housing and get food stamps and all those kind of things here if you have some kind of mental issue. So there are very few homeless people, and the people who are homeless here tend to have some kind of mental issue because they're not just down on their luck. And drugs are so rare here. Like, you can get them. You could get like pot, I guess, maybe. I've heard. But you can't get anything really hard. Like, people, the punishments are just so great that people are just like, no, death row is not, no. And especially among the foreign community, because even if we've had any interaction at all, even if you are at a club where somebody else is smoking marijuana, you could get kicked out of the country. Yeah, so Japan takes drugs very seriously. extremely seriously. So it's not really a problem here among the homeless population. The problem among the homeless population tends to be more mental health. And so, why is the Hiroshima homeless guy famous? He's famous because he loves stuffed animals. He collects them. He sleeps in piles of dirty, disgusting stuffed animals. And he lives on one of the most public streets in Hiroshima. I've seen him on Handori when it's raining. I've seen him on Hachobori when it's not raining. He's just... And he's out there, and he's got bags surrounding him. And he's just covered. He, like... I don't know if he sews them or he pins the stuffed animals to him. But he's not in good shape. He's not in good mental shape. He's not in good physical shape. His stuffed animals are dirty. And, you know, it's just, you want to help him, but he refuses to help. I offered to clean for him his stuffed animals, to take him to a laundromat, and he declined. You know, I told him he could stay there in the laundromat with me, and I would wash his things. And I offered him to send him to an onsen, which is like a public bath, so he could get cleaned up, and he was like, no. So it's really sad. It's really, really sad. But he's semi-famous for that. Alright, I better get started on hanking up this stuff. And I think I might put on some PPE, because it's gross. Which I didn't know until I opened the bag and picked up the ball. But, waste not, want not. I don't waste anything. If I can utilize it, I will utilize it. Because to do otherwise is to harm the planet. And Veganuary is the last awareness month. Honestly, we eat too much meat, we eat too much cheese. I can see why having a month where we focus more on a plant-based diet would be a good thing. Totally, absolutely believe in that. Will I follow a plant-based diet this month? It's unlikely. Do I recommend that you occasionally eat a plant-based meal with no animal products? Absolutely. Yesterday I had an entirely plant-based meal. A vegan meal. It was delicious. It was vegan hummus with, and I had cucumbers and carrots, and I know it's vegan hummus because I made it. Because you can't buy hummus in Japan. So I had the hummus that I made, and it was so good. Carrots, celery, cucumbers, and a red pepper. I ate until I was about to explode with hummus, and it was so good. It was so good. You don't have to just keep that stuff for like a party. You don't have to have just a vegetable plate for a party. You can have a vegetable plate for a lunch. And the hummus provides the protein. So, because it's made out of chickpeas, which are a protein, just so you know. And it's also got tzatziki sauce, which is made out of sesame, which is a seed. Has a high fat content. And I put ton of garlic in it because I like garlic hummus. And it was delicious. It was exactly what I needed. It was refreshing. Because I haven't been feeling well. It wasn't heavy. It wasn't like, oh, I ate, now I have to go to sleep. Ugh. It wasn't like that. So you could definitely have the occasional vegan meal and not even notice the lack of meat. All right. Thank you, and I will talk to you again later.